Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to talk about how to set a smart goal. And I hope you all having a purpose on your plate and the motivation sources. If you don't have, I have two small questions for you to identify your purpose into your career life. Ask yourself where you want to see yourself after 1 year, or ask yourself where you want to see yourself after 5 years, right? The timeline you can decide. But the result of this question, if you find the answer, that will be your purpose. Yes, once you have the purpose, we can set the goals, and those goals has to be a smart goals. So when I say smart, it's an acronym. Yes, a smart, I think almost everyone knows what it stands for, but let me repeat it once again. Smart, S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, and T is for time, right? So what are the goals you are setting? These are the specific criteria it has to set into, right? So when we talk about a detail about each of this factor, you will come to know why they are very much important to set any kind of goal and why your goal has to be very smart. So let's take a first one. That's a specific. Why it has to be specific? Let's take an example. If I decide to do a programming, right? And I just say that I want to do a programming certification. Okay, it's a very generic sentence. Okay, because your brain will not work into that particular action if you just say you want to do a programming course or you want to do a certification into the programming. Besides that, if you say a specific word that I want to do a Java programming, I want to do a C++ programming, that become a very specific. So my point is, guys, making it specific to your goal means you are drilling it down so detailed that you know every aspect of it. Yeah, you know why you are doing it, okay, and you know what actually you are going to achieve through that goal. That's why being specific is very important. Okay, the second most important thing is a measurable. Even if you have a goal set into the place, but if you don't have a parameter to measure your progress, then you will lose the connection with your goal. So measuring parameter can be anything, right? You can say a number of days you are going to complete this goal, or your progress can be seen into the target you have set for the small chunks of your goals and how much you have achieved into that. So that parameter has to be set for your goal. The next one will be an achievable. You cannot have a hypothetical target for your goal. Let's take an example. If I say for any technology, let's say for an example, I want to achieve that particular certification in 1 day. That's a completely impossible thing, right? Let's take another example. If someone sets a goal to learn a driving, okay, driving a car, right? The person has to go with some process. He cannot have maybe we can say a unhypothetical goal for driving a car, right? He cannot learn that into 1 day. He has to go through some process. So that is what I'm trying to say, guys. It has to be achievable. What are the goals you are setting? You should know your capability and you should set it as achievable. So next important thing is relevant. This is the area where I think almost everyone is setting their goals as relevant to their purposes. But if you still think that you are losing somewhere, or you're giving importance to some other factors, right, which are not at all important for your goals, then you can keep reminding yourself whether these factors, these small chunks to achieve your longer or smarter goal, are really relevant to it or not. Okay, so that's very important, right? For example, let's take in a car driving example itself. You have this decision to learn a car, a four-wheeler, right, in some days, and then you start doing your stuff, you practice onto the two-wheeler, right? So that is not at all relevant. I know this example is maybe very generic, but try to connect it with the your work life as well. Unknowingly, unconsciously, we trying to indulge ourselves into some things which are not actually relevant to our goal. So we have to keep remind yourself that this small chunk is not at all relevant to my goal. So relevant factor, though it seems very little, but I think it has some meaning into the setting the goals as well. You have to keep remind yourself about the relevance of it. The next part, I will say, It's a driving part, and that is called as a time. So what are the goal you are setting? If you don't add a time to it, you will definitely not going to achieve it. You maybe achieve it, but not into the particular period of time, right? It goes procrastinating and procrastinating, right? So you have to set a proper timeline to it. For example, I want to learn Java technology. If I want to learn a C++ technology, being an example, guys, I have to set a duration to it. I want to learn C++ in 60 days. Okay. Once you do that, your brain start taking action towards it like that. And then you are also going to take a small chunk to reach to that goal. That's why it's very important to have a timeline. Otherwise, you never know where to stop, right? Where to measure your progress. So timeline is making very important. It's making very important point here, because without it, all four factors will not stand. Okay, so always have your timeline to your goal. Okay, write your statement with the timeline. I want to learn the car. I want to learn to drive a car in 60 days, in 30 days. You have to keep that in your mind. Same thing applies to your work life. Okay, that's simple, guys. You have to set your smart goals. You have to set your goal which has to be a smart, aligned with your purpose. That's it. Now, as we have seen how to set our smart goal, these are the basic criteria, but how to achieve them, how to actually reach to those smart goals, or we can say how to achieve them, right? Simply, first thing, you have to write down a small chunks before reaching to your goals, like into the timelines. The small chunks, a small task, they should have also a time. Once you complete it, you have to record at what time you actually started it and what time you have actually finished it. Third important thing is rewarding yourself once you complete your goal, right? And most important out of all of them is to have a partner with whom you are going to share your goals, right? So once you share some goals with him, he will help you to remind, okay, and review your goals whether you have doing some progress or not. More than that, let's take an example, guys. If you are working onto some industries and you share some goals with your lead, you will take more efforts to prove yourself sometimes, to yourself and to him as well. So it adds an advantage, guys. Just publish your goal to him or to any partner you have in your family, in your friends. That will definitely benefits. Okay, so this is all about a smart goal, and I hope if you follow some of the steps which I have told you right now, and you can go beyond that as well if you have some more ideas. But believe me, guys, if you follow them, if you write it down, follow the timeline and record those timeline when you finished it, when you started, so that you come to know about your capacity as well and what else you need, right? Once you know about yourself, about your capacity to reach towards your small chunks of goals, you will definitely achieve your goals, smart goals, right? So set it right and try to achieve it this through steps. That's it, guys. I will see you into the next video, which is all about the proactiveness. Okay, to doing all this. After setting all these smart goals, right, we need to have a proactiveness instead of reactiveness to to achieve really all those smart goals. So see you into the next video that is all about a proactiveness. See you guys. Thank you very much.